So if you're like me, you've seen a lot of ads about these candlelight concerts, either on Facebook or Instagram, and these ads were just following me everywhere. So one day I just gave in and said, you know what, let's just do it. I went to the tribute to Taylor Swift concert in Denver, so I'm gonna let you know what it was like and share some things that weren't super obvious to me before I bought the tickets, just in case you're thinking of checking out one of these candlelight concerts in your city. Also, if you think that you want to check out one of these concerts, I'll drop a link in the description so that you don't have to go searching for one of those ads or doing a bunch of random Googling like I had to do. I'll also include a bunch of clips throughout the video, so keep watching because that'll just give you the whole vibe of what the experience is like. Okay, so in Denver, this particular concert was at the Wings Over the Rockies Museum, which is in Lowry, and it has a really big open space in the middle. It's a huge venue because it's an airplane museum, and I do think that the better you know your venue, the more you'll know what to expect. I had been to this museum a couple times before, but it still surpassed my expectations. We were sitting in the round, so we were in a big circle around the stage where the string quartet was playing all the T-Swift jams. After the show, I actually talked to one of the event people, and she said that not every one of these candlelight concerts is set up like this. Sometimes there's more of a traditional stage up front and then everyone is sitting on one side of them. But for us, this happened to work out that we were able to be seated in the round for the concert. I actually totally didn't realize this, but when you're buying the tickets, you can actually see what the seating setup will be like. And I think that that's really helpful when you're kind of imagining what this is going to be like, because it's something pretty different. And it's important to know that these events are pretty small and intimate. Our concert had about 250 people there and it was sold out. Some of the larger venues would have around 500 to 600 people, according to that same person that I talked to. Depending on the time of year, some of the shows are inside, some are outside. It was 15 degrees here in Denver, so I was very happy that it was inside. But in general, that's a pretty small crowd, and I think that that's one of the charms of these candlelight concerts, is that you get to watch a bunch of really talented musicians playing music that you like with just a small group of people. It could be the lighting, it could be the fact that it's just a little bit different, but it feels like something special that you're going to, and that makes it a little bit more memorable. And if you were wondering, the candles that are around the stage are not real candles. They're kind of like those battery-powered LED candles that look pretty realistic. And really, it's probably for the best. I mean, you can imagine if one of these concerts was outside, the wind could blow out all the candles, there could be a fire hazard, all kinds of bad stuff could happen. It's totally fine that they're not real candles. It's warm, it's relaxing. We were sitting in the, near the front row, and having the candles just be not far from us and glowing up towards the stage, it was really nice. Without the candles, this show would have been completely different. You'd just be sitting in a brightly lit room, watching people in a string quartet doing covers of songs that you like. Not super interesting. But with the candles, this is something that you put on your story and people are asking you what it was and what it's about. Absolutely date worthy, either before or after dinner, depending on the time slot that you get. This particular show was about 75 minutes, which might seem a little bit short, but I actually thought it was the perfect length of time. It's not a full-length concert, nor do you feel, ripped off because it was 45 minutes long. I actually think it kind of hits that Goldilocks length. When you go to something like this, I do think that it's important to enjoy it the full way through. You don't really want to get to that, oh God, I'm at a family member's recital and my butt hurts kind of thing. And I think that the length of these candlelight concerts is pretty solid. Maybe I could have been down for like one or two more songs, but I just enjoyed the arrangements and the concert never really felt like it dragged. You are sitting on fold-out chairs that were padded, but not the most comfortable chairs in the whole world, and I was seated for about as long as I'd want to be sitting in one of those chairs. Before we get specifically into the music, please give this video a like so that YouTube will show this to more people interested in these candlelight concerts. Now for the music. Overall, it was great. I don't want to interrupt the music over and over or talk over it, so I'll put a couple clips in here just so that you can check them out. Musicians who were playing that night were part of a group called the Range Ensemble, and there were people from the Colorado Symphony and the Colorado Springs Philharmonics. These were not randoms by any means. The arrangements for the songs were really unique and interesting, and that's something that I really enjoyed a lot about the music. It felt like they kind of switched off who took the lead so that your eyes were kind of looking at different people on the stage at different times. Each chorus was a little different, the build to the bridge was different. It was just a lot of fun to see the creativity that they put into arranging all these different songs. Also, these concerts are really cool and comfortable. They're not stuffy at all. Some people came dressed up like they came from a fancy dinner, including some older kids. Other people were coming straight from work like I was, and the lights were down, so it really didn't matter. It is really important to note that there are minimum age requirements for these shows. So for us, it was 8 years old, and anyone 16 and under had to be accompanied by an adult. So for us, we have a 2-year-old, and he had to stay home, and really it was for the greater good of everyone who was attending the show. He would have been walking around, talking, picking up the candles. It is the right move by them. And I really don't know how tightly they would enforce this for teens, but clearly they're trying to avoid a large group of teenagers or kids that are there just making a lot of noise and taking away from the more laid back, enjoyable experience for everyone who's there. That being said, there were absolutely elementary school age kids there, and I think that they had a great time with their parents. If you've got a kid who's in orchestra, especially if they play a string instrument for one of these concerts, I think that this could be really fun and even motivating for them to hear songs that they know played by the instrument that they play. I think it would be really, really cool for them. And with the candles, the music, the arrangements, I honestly forgot that I was in the museum many times throughout the night. Now, was this Candlelight concert worth it? I would say absolutely, with a few caveats. Especially for this, I didn't end up getting Taylor Swift tickets to the tour that's coming up. I don't honestly think that I could see myself going to more than 2 of these concerts in a year because I think some of the magic would wear off, but one a year with music that I really liked, absolutely. The whole night was just really engaging. I don't think I saw a single high school kid on their phone other than to film, and that's pretty rare. And while this will not be the coolest thing that you or your kids have ever done, it's not like a full-fledged concert, I do think that you'll be very happy that you went, and that your brains will be happy too. That's my take on the Candlelight concerts. I hope that you enjoyed it, and check them out if they're coming to your city.